Let's bring in two governors who have been parts of all kinds of debates in their own past. Former Democratic governor of Nevada, Bob Miller, who's right there in Las Vegas by the debate, and former Republican governor and senator from Virginia, George Allen. I'll begin with you, Governor Miller, because you're right there at the scene. There are protesters. There are all kinds of activities going on behind you, but we know what's been happening here in the nation. Terror is now the bigger concern of most voters. It was the economy, but Paris has happened, San Bernardino, the LA school district threat. Big concerns here. Who do you think is the one to watch at this GOP debate, of course stressing that you are a Democrat?
Well, I think that the debate's going to be around foreign policy rather than the economy because of the issues that we've seen in San Bernardino and in Paris, et cetera. But it's the same as most of the polls would indicate. I think that primarily people are going to want to see Donald Trump, his lead, whether he can sustain it. Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz, probably the two most significant second rounds at the moment. And I think in Nevada, in particular, Jeb Bush and even Rand Paul can't be completely discounted because of the relationships they've had here over time. So I don't see them as formidable candidates at the moment, but they're people who have a possibility in the Nevada caucuses of doing better than people expect.
Governor Allen, people assume that Donald Trump owns the terror story because he's been extremely vocal and throwing out ideas, putting them out there for people. Some may be not very tasteful, but others are being embraced. Who has a chance to shine tonight beyond Donald Trump?
Well, I think Donald Trump's bombastic statements resonate with many people, although some get almost universal opposition from the Republican candidates. The ones who I think are the candidates who I think are conversant on foreign policy issues and actually have a record of experience in it are Marco Rubio, who is on the Foreign Relations Committee. Governor Kasich also seems to be very knowledgeable, and in his own way, Governor Christie is one from his prosecutorial aspects. And you're there in Las Vegas there, Governor Miller, and I was there last week at a Guest Tech conference, and it had everything from the rodeo to the Miss Universe contest going on at the same time. And so foreign policy does affect tourism. It does affect our economy. And energy policy, I think, is a foreign policy issue as well, that we don't have to be vulnerable to volatile and sometimes hostile regimes around the world if we'll have a productive, realistic energy policy, which I hope will be discussed. And I also hope they run the debate the way Fox Business did, that actually was focused on substantive issues. No one goes to a sporting event to watch the referees. They want to see the contestants talk about issues that people care about and affect their lives.
Thank you so much. We were quite aware that it's not about us, it's about the candidates. We are the conduits to hear their ideas. Governor Miller, you are right there in Las Vegas. You see the action, you see the activity. Tourism is huge. So we can move beyond the terrorist issue, but gun control is no doubt going to be coming up, and then the economy. Those issues that matter to people in Nevada matter to everybody in the United States. I don't know if a lot of people know this, Governor Miller, you were a part-time deputy sheriff in Los Angeles back in the day, in the late 60s and 70s. Where do you stand on gun control, for example, and where do you think the rest of the nation finds itself that common thread?
Yeah, well, most of my early career was in law enforcement, a deputy also in Las Vegas and police attorney and so on. And I do think that those are very important issues. Nevada, there's a group, a petition coming forward on the ballot relative to background checks and whether they should be universally applied even to non-conventional sales locations. There was a protest here over the weekend. On the one side, some mothers recalling the Sandy Hook situation, and on the other side, some NRA activists that were parading on the other side of the street with guns. So that is an important issue, and it varies throughout our state. That's why we're such an interesting state, because we're the most urban state in America, but the rural parts of our state, up in northeastern Nevada in particular, where Governor Allen was once literally a cowboy, they have very strong views about these issues. And it'll be interesting to see if those issues come up on here. I think it's going to be dominated by personalities, and if you're trying to go after Donald Trump, the core issue right now seems to be his statements relating to foreign policy. So I suspect a lot of it's going to be focused that way.
Before we go, we've got about 20 seconds, Governor Allen. Iowa, Ted Cruz is leading there for the moment. Does Iowa speak for the rest of the nation?
My parents were married in Sioux City, Iowa, but I don't think it speaks for the rest of the nation in their caucuses. I think New Hampshire, South Carolina, and Nevada will be much more important in winnowing out the crowd and giving momentum into the next races. And in Nevada, I did buckaroo up in Winnemucca, and they feel strongly about their natural right of self-defense and don't take away their guns.
Good to see
Nor
both of you.
in South Carolina or Virginia as well. But Governor, I still have good memories of that National Governors Conference there back in 1997. I wish you the best, and I always like coming back to Nevada.
Thanks, George.
It's great to see both of you, Democrat, Republican, getting along. Wish we could see that in the United States. Former Governors Bob Miller and George Allen. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much.